From the hollers and hills of West Virginia, it's Heavenly Hills Homestead with another episode. Stay tuned. Alright guys, let's go down here and check on. Yeah, fence is on. See how the chickens love it? They love it. Chickens love that stuff. Okay. Right here, give a little check on my butternut here. Then we're gonna come out and we're gonna hit it with some fertilizer. All right, phew. I probably should turn that fence off. Bend over and get it zapped right in the rear end. That's gonna make you feel like $1,000,000. Okay, what we got going on here? Man alive. The thing is just gets bigger every day. Well, it's supposed to rain, so I don't guess I'll hit it with any water today. I guess I'll just spray some fertilizer on here. Let it take as much as it can. We're starting to look pretty raggedy, but I'm trying to make it as far along as possible because I don't know, the seeds are really young. I got that cardboard, that's what I put the scale on. I slide that underneath the butternut and then look at here from this end. That is just big, guys. I don't think y'all understand how big that is. That's a pumpkin vine. Over there, don't need that in here. This is a squash vine. Right here, and these are squash vines. Okay. Squash vine. Alright. Mix some fertilizer, fish emulsion, and triple 20 is what I've been using. So give it a little bit of fish, a little bit of triple 20. Spray it all down in the end, and then, you know, wherever the rain comes, it'll wash it off a leaf and down into the ground. It'll suck it up that way too. So, okay, I got a plan here. Just trying to formulate. I do have another butternut. I think it's hollow. It's about this long, okay? It sounds hollow as all get out. It just looks like a big old pumpkin looking thing. Weird shaped. All right, I think I've gotten all the coils off though. I don't think there's any need to pull it off today. I think I pulled a bunch of them off yesterday. Another thing is too, I gotta, make sure that thing's growing, getting water. Definitely don't want to leave it on there too long, and then for some odd reason, get that one off there. And for some odd reason, it start losing weight. I don't want to do that. I want to make sure that we got weight going. There's one. There. There you go, buddy. Eat up, son. Just checking the whole plant. Don't want any new butternuts starting. Just want to make sure that they're off. Nothing. I'm trying to get every little bit of energy I can. Every little bit of energy helps. So if these ain't even a thought, then it'll put that energy into growing it. That one up there, see? And also, I found that this year that shape right here is probably the better shape to grow. There's another shape here somewhere, see, like this. Gotta get that off there because it's trying to open up. That's a very nice stem. I like that stem, it's a nice one. Always, when you go to pollinate these things, earlier in the year, I didn't really know any better. So like on my pumpkins and on this, and I just, I don't know that I could have done a whole lot different or better for the pumpkins, especially being my first year. There's one of the, supposed to be blues right there. There's another one. Anyways, back on track. I'm like a daggone squirrel. So again, I don't know that I could have done any better with the pumpkins. I mean, I know there was things that I should have done, and I just did not do them. I got kind of right in the middle of it. I got kind of overwhelmed with everything and really tired. And so when I needed to continue to bury vines, I didn't, and I should have. And I think that hurt me a lot. But what I did learn is you don't have to, if you're unhappy with a pumpkin, okay, if you're unhappy with the way that the stem looks, or you're unhappy with the position it's going to be in as it grows, you can look and say, okay, this pumpkin's going to pollinate right there, and where the room, you can measure out about 5 foot diameter, 5 long, 5 wide, and be like, okay, well, this is what area I have to grow that in. If you don't like it, you shouldn't set it. What happened to me this year is, it was, to me, it seemed like I was getting a little late in the year. I wanted that June pollination, and I was getting closer and closer to July, okay? And for whatever reason, my plants seemed like they were kind of stunted, at the beginning. And they were growing great in the pots, and then when I put them in the dirt, they just kind of acted like they fizzled out. And see this shape right here? I'm gonna quit talking first. That shape right there on a butternut, you do not want that shape. If that's how your butternut looks, do not grow that shape, and I'll show you why. And up in there, see, like this one here, that is that same shape. Look at that. You see that weird shape right there? Don't grow that shape. That's a bad shape. This right here, that's another bad shape. Don't grow them. When they look like that, don't grow that shape. You want an hourglass shape. Don't grow them if they look like these. These are not the shapes you want. All the ones that I've grown like this year have turned out to be duds. Every one of them. Okay, up underneath that up there, that's a dud. That's a dud. So anyhow, back to what I was talking about. My plants seem to fizzle out. I mean, and I know there's going to be some, growth loss there at the beginning when you first transplant them, right? I mean, it's just going to happen. Okay, but this was a little bit more than that. I think it was like abruptly just, okay, we're done almost, and I didn't like it. So yeah, it lasted a long time, or at least it seemed like it was. And so I started getting kind of fidgety and was talking to people and, well, you better just start setting them, set every one of them and then call them out, just like, so they were like, set every fruit you got and then pick the best one and call it. So I start setting all these fruit, and I didn't call like I should have. I left the biggest ones on, and I called the ones that had been on there they were the youngest. I called the youngest and kept the oldest. Didn't really look to try and see which one was better, which one had a better stem, which one was in a better position, any of that. I didn't bother to try to check none of that. I just went on ahead and called the youngest and let the oldest one stay on there. I think I would have had better luck had I, looked at the situation and said, okay, these are the worst, the worst places, the worst shape. We don't want them necessarily, so like that, and called some of the older ones. Could have probably did better, been in a better position, had a better pumpkin further up the vine, yada, yada, yada. Well, now that I know those things, okay, and I know that, the shape of the fruit, see how that's like an hourglass, okay, the top, and then it flares out, right, skinny in the center, flares out at the bottom, okay. Now, this is for butternuts, but your pumpkins has got a lot of, the same kind of deal, you can look at a pumpkin and say, well, that's going to be like this, or that's going to be like that, you know what I mean? So, anyhow, the older pumpkins was probably, littler because where they were at in position of the length of the vine, and seems like the further along you get and the older the plant gets, the bigger the stems are, right out of the bat, right out the gate, right? So it seems like you get bigger stems and better quality stems. The older the plant gets, okay? So that's what I'm trying to get at there. So you kind of want the older fruit to be set and not the youngest ones, because it seems, like I said, the youngest ones seem to have the smaller stems. They seem to have a little bit more problems and not get nearly as big as fast. So anyhow, I thought that was something I would share with y'all this morning while we're out here taking a look at everything, and getting all these baby butternuts off of here while we get ready to fertilize. So but yeah, I really think that if you watch, like this butternut, for prime example, this plant's huge, right? And the other butternut, this has done surpassed my other butternut, and that butternut grew for like 2.5 months and was 59 pounds. This is grown for less than a month and is over, I believe, over 90 pounds, okay? So, you know, it's, you know, is it the positioning of the fruit and where it was at on the plant? And I really think so. I really think that it's got all this plant back here behind it, even though it looks like garbage now. All that plant looks like garbage, you know, right? All of it. But it's still pulling in nutrients. It's still got enough green on the plant, okay? You've seen all the babies I've been picking off of it. Still has enough green to grab the solar power from the sun, right? For photosynthesis and turn that into energy within the plant to go into the fruit and draw those nutrients in, right? So all this plant, even though the leaves might be dyed back, is still a huge plumbing resource, right? It's drawing all those nutrients and all those waters right up and into this fruit, okay? I really think that that's how this works, all right? So I hope I explained that decently enough for you today on why I think it's important to set fruit down your vine and not get impatient, okay? I know we put it's like a big emphasis, it seems like, on June pollination. And while that is probably right, sometimes it may not be obtainable. And even if it is obtainable, maybe we shouldn't use that particular pumpkin. I mean, if you're July 1st, you know what I mean? Let's say this. I had one pumpkin up there, the one that busted open on me, right? The 1378 new, the one that bottom fell out, right? So that pumpkin, okay, that was like a very, very late, if not in July pollination. It was like late June, early July pollination. I think I may have pollinated it like the 28th of June or something like that, I think is what it was. All right. So, but that pumpkin grew and caught up to others that were a couple weeks older than it, right? And was doing well and was continuing to grow. Okay. So, and then look at Elsa. Elsa was pollinated in the beginning of August. And had I had done better plant management and everything, we seen yesterday that plant could have still produced a really big pumpkin, you know. But in total, that plant did produce over 1,000 pounds. Elsa was 581, and Blowhole was 482. Okay, so over 1,000 pounds off of that plant. All right. So anyhow, like I say, I do believe having them out further does better, because this to me, it does seem like the fruit is better quality fruit. Even as a baby, you know, you get bigger, longer stems, thicker stems. The fruit shape is looking better, and sometimes you get them in a better position. Okay, so I just wanted to share that. I know that was kind of long and drawn out. So we're gonna get this fertilized and stuff. And got any questions, or maybe I'm wrong, you know, let me know. You know, so anyhow, we'll get this fertilized, and then we'll let nature water her. Then we're gonna try to do some tilling. Okay, so guys, today what I decided to feed the plants was fish fertilizer, triple 20, and the fish fertilizer I'm using right now is a 511. I'm going to give them some triple 20, some calcium nitrate, some humic and fulvic acid, boron, and some Epsom salt. Okay, so that's what we're going to be feeding today. Again, that is 511 fish fertilizer, triple 20, calcium nitrate, Epsom salt, and humic and fulvic acid. Okay, so that should bring them on along and finish them out pretty decent. Again, I'm feeding them in the mornings, and then I give more in the evening. That y'all probably ain't getting it on the camera, what I am doing, because it's dark, but they get it. And so it's a heavy dose. One of those doses every day is a heavy dose, and then the other one's just light, quick spray. So it just depends on how I feel. All right, let's get out here and let's fertilize these. everything fertilized really good under the leaves, on the top and underneath. I mean, man, that thing is just, it's massive. Nothing else to say about it. I really hope it gets over 100. I mean, you gotta look. That's how big that is from that far away. I mean, it's huge. Anyhow, all right, let's go over here and get some tilling done. Real quick, had to take a quick break from, look at all these. This is all the nails and stuff that I found. That's a pop bottle lid, and then this, I don't know what that is. That's a pull tab. This, and this, especially that's very heavy. These are pieces of tin, I think. That right there, I don't know, it's very heavy. Can't unfold it. So anyhow, that's all the stuff I took out of the garden today, metal detecting, and then I broke my stinking knife. Can you believe that? Already tilled soil and broke it. Piece of junk. All right, back to the garden. All right, guys, so we have some more black magic. We got some sugar beets, crushed. Oh goodness, we got apple flavored deer cane, which is the same as black magic. But my dear wife did not know the difference. It's okay though. Sort of the same thing. We got our belt for the tiller, so we'll do that tomorrow. We won't have to worry about doing it with that little puny thing, because that crap is packed down tight. Okay, I mean tight. I don't think it was that bad before I grew in it. And it, man, I mean, and we didn't walk in there. Y'all see, we didn't walk in there. We had a path going to each pumpkin. And that was it. We used boards earlier in the year. Anyhow, this is all that I got done today. You can see, it looks great. The dirt looks great, but it is just compacted like you would not believe over in here. I mean, it's tough as tough can be. Dense, very, very dense. Yet another reason why I'm growing a cover crop, and then going to be adding the leaves and the grass clippings and the manure and the gypsum and the sand. Okay, because this is it's no wonder that I didn't get the ion exchange I was looking for, because I've dug roots out of here while I was digging up the nails that I'll show you here in just a second. I come through and metal detected, as you've seen, and was getting all the nails and stuff out of it. I'd already did that once this year. I thought, well, I better do it again. And sure enough, I was finding a bunch more. So, and I do that because if we get in here with the truck or, you know, my other tiller, I don't want to flatten that tire. Okay, I don't want to flatten the truck tires, and I don't want to flatten the tires on my tiller. So it's just better to take the metal detector, take an hour or so, go over the whole place, find the nails, get them out. You know? Well, anyhow, while I was digging the nails out, I was getting, you know, some of these places where the roots had broke off from the bottom of the node, and but anyhow, they couldn't grow very good because the clay is so dense that after it had rained and after I'd watered on it, here's a prime example. Look how big that is. Okay, huge, but it went straight down, but that's all it could do. it couldn't really get any roots coming off the side here. And anyhow, it's you know, it's just, I couldn't get the exchange I needed because the clay is too dense. Clay is really good about two things. One, it holds it holds nutrients very, very well. Two, it holds water really well. Okay. See, like here, look at this. Look at this one. That right there broke off the bottom of a leaf node. Let's see if I can pull it up. All right, look at that. Anybody else would have dug that up out of their patch, and that thing would have had tons of these little roots all over it, right? Which gives you more surface area, okay? And more surface area means more water and nutrients being sucked up, okay? Not here, because the clay's too dense. And since the clay's too dense, you know, it struggles to produce. Well, ain't no wonder ain't no wonder my pumpkins were light, you know, to chart, because it's too dense. All right, I hope I'm explaining this to where y'all can understand. Anyhow, what we got to do is we got to get this dirt fluffy. Okay, now I can go down here. All right, and this is nice. You see this? That's nice, right? See how I'm playing in it? It's nice and everything. Okay, yeah. But you let it rain on that a few times, and you let me water that a few times, and that'll turn back hard as rock. And here's what I'm going to show you. The surface space of clay. 1 teaspoon, or no, it's a tablespoon. Tablespoon, I think. 1 tablespoon of clay, okay, versus 1 tablespoon of sand. 1 tablespoon of sand, you have enough to cover a kitchen table. You have enough surface area of 1 tablespoon of sand to cover a coffee table. All right, and 1 tablespoon of clay, you have enough surface area to cover a football field. Yes, you heard that right, a football field. I was blown away when I learned that. But that's why clay is excellent, okay, I'm not gonna say it's excellent. It's good to grow in, but it's difficult to grow in because, like I said, it compacts back on itself all by itself. You don't have to walk in here to get it to do it. All right, it just does it naturally. And when it does it naturally, your roots have a harder time trying to grow. Your little roots that are off of your main roots, they're pretty much non-existent because they can't hardly grow, okay? And worms love to be in here, okay? I find worms all the time, but not like I would if I was in the garden over there, okay, where there's no clay, because they have a hard time digging through this stuff, right? So what you got to do is you got to get your organic matter in the soil built up, okay, while decreasing the clay stickiness and consistency to stick to itself with the gypsum and a little bit of the sand, okay, because you put too much sand, you make concrete, all right? So that's what the cover crop's for. The cover crop is to help keep it busted up with the roots and stuff, all right? The roots going down into the ground and you know, beets and all that other stuff, you know, all that should grow into the ground, keep all this busted up to where over wintertime it won't get hard and packed again. I'll be able to till it with ease, okay? Also, it will disperse the nutrients better when you have that, you know, not you don't want it like this, you want it like that, right? You want it loose, all right? So you till in your grass clippings, which gives more organic matter, your leaves, more organic matter, your cow manure, more organic matter, all right? And then you till under your cover crop, which is just more organic matter. Organic matter feeds worms and funguses and bacteria that are good, and it'll allow this soil to not want to stick together as badly, okay? And if it ain't gonna stick together as badly, my roots can expand and grow better, thus pulling up more nutrients and water. All right, I hope I explained that. the way that I needed to explain it so everybody can understand. Also, I think I'm going to do a series on each thing that I grow. You know, like just take a couple days and do each one. You know, talk about each one. You know, the pumpkin, the butternut, long gourd, bushel gourd, giant tomatoes, whatever. Okay, and just take a couple days, talk about each one of them and the process that we need to take in order to be successful at growing them. And some of this I didn't get to apply this year. I just learned it this year, so I'll be applying it next year. But we can go ahead and talk about it this year. That way everybody's on the same page for next year, and we can all be successful growers next year. All right. So look, guys, we appreciate you watching. We'll see you tomorrow right here in the hollers and hills of West Virginia.
Don't forget to smash that like button. Hit that notification bell. Don't forget to share.
Thank you, good sir.
You're welcome. And subscribe.